And I think we are live. Welcome one and all to the Shut-In Show. My name is Danny Parker, and I am your host and producer for this show. Forgive my technology snafus. It's a growing thing. We have an intro screen now. I set it up in the last 3 minutes. So, I think everything's broadcasting. I think everything's running. And I think everything should be the way that it ought to be. Now, if it's not, please let me know. There's going to be, there should be some music behind me. There should be some audio that I'll play this episode. There should be a few other things. I'm trying it out based on some feedback from some friends. So, welcome again, one and all, to the Shut-In Show. I'm your host, Danny Parker. Today's episode for Friday, April 3rd. Man, I really missed out that opportunity for Friday or for April 1st. No pranks, no nothing. Well, I guess it's not a joke. I really am trying to do a live show every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 12:15. So, thank you for tuning in live. Thank you for tuning in later if you get a chance to do that. These will be up on YouTube for, I think, forever. I don't know. We'll see how the YouTube interface functions that way. But all right, let's kick things off. I'm gonna give you some good news. I'm gonna give you a top story, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about some music and some stuff. So for today's top story, of course, hopefully you've heard by now, but if you haven't, you've heard it here first. The governor Inslee extended his stay at home, stay healthy for the state of Washington until May 4th. So, may the COVID be with us until May 4th. We will stay inside and stay safe. I've got this. There we go. Put that together for you, Josh. So, he gave a really good speech about this. I've actually gotten to know our dear governor, a little bit better throughout all this because he's the one making all of these speeches, and I tend to go and watch the whole speech. It's, it's a government speech, but they put them together with care, and they want you to have good information. And so I'm going to actually link to that speech afterwards as well. I'll recommend you go watch it. But in short, basically what he's given us is, we're going to be extending this stay home, stay healthy until May 4th, so yet another month. But that doesn't come without any economic or planning assistance. So he's done some freezing on evictions for non-payment of rent. Obviously, a lot of people are going through some tough economic times right now. He's helping with mortgage forbearance, utility payment assistance, increased unemployment access, and then flexibility on tax payments. This is on top of stimulus checks that we might be getting, and then already federal student loans can be frozen if you go and request that. So anybody who's my age should go out and freeze your student loans. I had a friend who did it. He's not worried about not paying, but it's convenient to be able to save up a little bit right now. It's going to be a good idea either way. So it definitely was clear that Governor Inslee was going back to a time of fireside chats, and really he quoted the very first fireside chat with FDR to say, more important than currency, more important than gold, and that is the confidence of the people themselves. Confidence and courage are the essentials of success in carrying out our plan. He added onto this, the fastest way to economic recovery is health recovery, which is fundamental to all we hold dear. So I respect this guy. I think he's doing a good job. And yeah, it's the way that we know that this flattening the curve thing works is that it takes longer, right? The flatten the curve, essentially, if the COVID crisis was really short, that means all of our hospitals would get really full really quickly. But that's not what we're doing. We're extending it out, calming down the amount of potential infections, and we'll be better for it. So, now to some good news. But first, let me change my background music because I don't think I did that before. If you can even hear the background music. It looks like there's some. Okay. So, I'm working on far too many tabs right now. It is right there. There we go. So now to some good news. A student of mine actually shared this with me. This is something kind of exciting and kind of funny. So in Italy, there was a woman who was infected with COVID. She was 101 years old, which means that she lived through the 1918 Spanish flu. The Spanish flu was similar, comparable, and she lived through this, and as of last week, she was released from the hospital after recovering from COVID as well. So double check, she gets her survivor's benefit. We could all learn a lot from, I don't know what the heck this lady had been eating for her whole life, but man, if it means eating more pasta is better for my virus protection, then I've been probably on my way for a while now. Other than that, we've got some more good news. John Krasinski has started what he's calling the Some Good News Network. And you can see behind him, his logo was created by his two daughters. Pretty adorable. I'll be linking to this story and the previous one in the show notes afterwards. But it's just one episode. He calls up a couple of people, including Steve Carell, who he... Obviously, if you're a huge fan of The Office, like many people are, it was the 15-year anniversary of that show, and so they talked about that for a little bit. He also just collected a lot of good footage and good news to uplift you for your day. So go ahead and give that one a good look. It is really awesome and very funny. Another thing that I saw today, just in scrolling through some Instagram, was a person who had their wedding canceled was still able to get married. This photo was taken right outside the Castle of Justice, is what I call it. Getting married in front of a judge in Spokane, you go down to Broadway where we have our courts, and this is a father maintaining good social distance with his daughter while they walk in to have a court wedding. So it's still possible. It's still awesome. Lots of good things. Life still goes on no matter what we're dealing with right now. So moving on to dealing with what we're dealing with right now, let's talk about a little bit of self-care for today. So one big thing that I'm really trying to push for myself, and one thing that I'm recommending to a lot of my students, I know that back when I was in high school, man, trying to maintain a sturdy sleep cycle was like a futile task. I was always staying up late. I was always trying to wake up too early to get to school. It felt like I could never get enough sleep. And that's just part of being a teenager, is like you need more sleep. But right now, a huge important thing that we need to take care of is our sleep hygiene. So sleep hygiene is essentially trying to go to bed at the same time every day, trying to wake up at the same time every day. A little bit of variance is okay by an hour or 40 minutes or something, but even if you stay up a couple hours past your bedtime, it's a good idea to wake up at the same time every day. I have an alarm set for 7:45 every morning, and I am not a morning person, but if I can do it, I know you can too, and it really, really has been helping with the regularity of my days. Just knowing that, like, my body is expecting a certain rhythm, and then for me to give the rhythm to my body, like provide that rhythm by good planning, it's really helpful. It also is helpful to have something to do right away, right when you wake up. So I try to get up, have a shower, have some tea, and then kind of decide what I want to fill my day with. But sleep hygiene is huge. Take care to get enough sleep, but also to not oversleep. Oversleeping can leave you feeling as exhausted as not sleeping enough. And right now, the temptation might be like, well, I have nothing to do, so I should probably just sleep for another 3 hours or something. It's always better for you to wake up at the certain time and then take a nap, maybe a 40-minute nap later in the day, than it would be to sleep in for an extra hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. That is to say, give yourself some credit. I know it's a hard time, and be kind to yourself. It's an important time to try and do everything you can to take care of yourself. So, what we have next on our docket is a couple announcements about some music. Let's see. Oh, wait, one more thing. Yes, this guy. So, John Green, professional fast talker, and everyone on the internet's cool uncle, posted a helpful video about self-care. He actually, in the comments underneath the video, gave a little printout of some of the things that they talk about. And it's advice from somebody who has been through the social distancing cycle several times, and including for COVID right now, and is giving it out to us. He gave it to all of his viewers, and I'm going to just let you guys go and watch that video to get the rest of it, but I'm going to read a couple of these. First of all, is just social distancing does not mean emotional distancing. So using technology to connect is a huge important thing right now. I'm going to try and curate a couple of different things for perhaps this next episode or the next couple episodes that are all about what to do with the kinds of technology that we have access to. We've already tested that thing that I recommended last time, so using Zoom to do, what are they called, Jackbox games, worked great. I'm still working out a couple of the kinks, but I think it works pretty well. I may do a how-to video, just a specific video, not a live stream about that, but we'll see. Let's see. Learning and intellectual engagement, books, reading, and limited internet. These things are hard to pull off, but if we can avoid spending all of our time on our screens, you're going to feel better for it. And then the last thing on the list is just limiting exposure to TV and internet news, choosing small windows, and then finding ways to cleanse yourself of it. And that's the word that they use, is to cleanse. And I think that that's something that I've definitely... I wake up and I read some news things, but I've decided to only pick one news source, and that's the Inlander, just to get those local stories, because they're working their butts off, and it's going to be mostly things that affect me personally, not things that are happening globally. And so I am going to try and find good news to share for you guys, useful things, but focusing too much on the larger global cycle and not enough on your local things is a problem that you can spiral for a whole day. I've done that for a couple days, just worrying over things that we can't control and that might not even affect us. So I'll let you go watch the rest of John Green's video. He's great as always. I know I started a little late, so I'm going to go a little later, but in short, I found a new artist who's super great, JORDY, SEARCY, I think. Really enjoy his stuff, and I'm going to play just a snippet of one of his songs to recommend this to you. Please go check it out. He's really cool. Here we go. SEARCY. While I'm searching for this, I did have it queued up, but there you go. One thing I did this week also was I got a sweet deal at Pacific Ave Pizza. They're still open, and they have had almost nobody come and get pizza from them. So they ran this great deal where you could get a growler of beer and a free 12-inch pizza for $10. So I went and did that, and they are fantastic pizza. Seriously good pizza over at Pacific Avenue. If you have a couple bucks to spend on pizza, please go do it. They, just like any restaurant, are hurting right now, but they are really looking to get people in, so they're willing to make some deals or something like that. So, all right, let's play the beginning of this song for you. And I think that should be working.
We won't say, but we both know dancing around the elephant in the room. Tell me if we're just friends.
This is a vibe that I really enjoy. Really funky, really chill. Lots of good music out there right now. So I'm hoping to do a couple of episodes that are very music focused, and can recommend more than just this guy. This is just something that I ran into, just kind of dinking around on Spotify the other day. So I think that's all I'll leave you with today. It was a bit fast and furious. I think I bit off more than I could chew. Still tweaking all of the things here. So please, if you've got feedback for me, I would love to hear it. Would love to see the things that you want me to talk about, or ways that I might be able to improve the flow or the understandability of the content that I'm giving. So always send me things you wanna hear about, and if you've got any good news you want to share it on up. And as always, take a shower, call your mom, and eat lunch. I love you. Take care of yourself. Have a great Friday.